Hi friends. My very first semester in seminary, I took a class on prayer. Can I be perfectly honest? I didn't like it. Probably because I wasn't very good at it. It was a class that focused on different types of contemplative prayer, all of which require you to be still and to clear your mind. Now, the be still part I had no problem with. It was the clearing my mind part that gave me trouble. And sometimes it still does. It seems like the more I try to clear my mind, the louder the voices get. Not those kind of voices. I mean the voices of my own questions and concerns and preoccupations. The voices of the world's struggles and crises and injustices. The voices of temptation to greed or selfishness or gluttony. The voices of responsibility to plan and prepare and provide. I still struggle with quieting all of those voices, but I have learned a couple of things as I've matured in my faith and in my practice of prayer. One thing I've learned is not to be so hard on myself when I get distracted in prayer. Usually those thoughts that come into my mind are the very things I need to pray about. And so instead of struggling to repress them, I lift them up as prayers and then let them go. Another thing I've learned is that I can't stop thoughts from coming into my mind. I can decide, though, whether to pay attention to them or to dwell on them. By the way, telling yourself not to think about something is simply another way of dwelling on it. If I say to myself, don't think about chocolate, don't think about chocolate, don't think about chocolate, what am I doing? I'm thinking about chocolate. But if the thought of chocolate comes into my mind and I say, that sounds good. Thank you, God, for such a sweet, delicious treat. And then let it go, then I can move on. Maybe I'm weird, but I find that the more I try to quiet my mind, the louder it gets. But the more I allow thoughts to come and go, the quieter my mind becomes. It's as if my thoughts are like the white noise of a flowing river instead of the annoying drip of a leaky faucet. However we quiet our minds, it allows us to hear the still small voice of God within us. Albert Benjamin Simpson was a Canadian preacher and the founder of the Christian and Missionary Alliance denomination. He wrote this: "I found after a while that when other voices ceased, or I ceased to hear them, there was a still small voice in the depths of my being that began to speak with an inexpressible tenderness, power, and comfort. As I listened, it became to me the voice of prayer, the voice of wisdom, the voice of duty, and I did not need to think so hard, or pray so hard, or trust so hard, for it was the living God himself as my life, my all." Let me assure you that there is no wrong way to pray. Sometimes it is quiet and still. Sometimes it's noisy and active. Sometimes it uses words, sometimes melodies, maybe numbers, maybe silence. But all the time, it's that still small voice in the depth of your being that speaks with inexpressible tenderness, power, and comfort. The voice of God that reminds you that you are accepted, forgiven, and loved. Thanks for listening, and keep praying.